Aloha everybody and shalom, shalom, shalom. We are setting up here for the first quarter activation. So last week was the new moon, now we're at the first quarter. We're 1 week into this month's cycle. And if you are new to these weekly activations, I'll just let you know that this doesn't actually have anything to do with the moon other than the fact that we use it as a measurement of time. Whatever the moon is showing us is only reflecting something that's happening within our own selves. Selves. Really, we can look at anything around us and see a message about ourselves because everything is a reflection. And the moon just happens to be one very obvious reflection that unites us all. Because we can all see it, so we can all tune in at the same time and align. So as usual, I'm tuning in from the extra magical Sedona, Arizona, USA. Let me know in the comments where you're tuning in from. And basically what we do is we pull some cards and we extract a message. And you can do this with any of the cards. We can make any formation. We can take out any of the cards, put them out on the table, and extract a message. But the ones that we choose together as we unite and become present here in this moment, using this platform, the cards we pick now as we do this will reflect a very particular message that we call in specifically together. So go ahead and let me know in the comments where you're tuning in from. Wisconsin, Massachusetts. Cool. And everybody have a look. See where your brothers and sisters are tuning in from. Sweden, Albuquerque, New Mexico. Check it out. See where your brothers and sisters are tuning in from all over the world. Brianna's in California. We have a Chicago. Awesome. So check it out, you guys. Check out where everybody's tuning in from. Brazil. Canada. And so we're just creating this grid of light right now. And we do this every week. If this is your first time, welcome. And if you've been returning, thank you for opening up these portals with us every single week. What an awesome community we've created around these videos, which, by the way, we've been doing every week for years now. So join us. It's free. You've got nothing to lose. And while I'm shuffling the cards and everybody's tuning in and letting us know where they're tuning in from, go ahead and share this video with your favorite groups maybe on Facebook. Share it with your friends, your family, somebody who you think might appreciate this, somebody who could use an uplifting message because it's always uplifting and inspiring, or someone you think could help enhance this portal. Send it to them. And that way they can tune in live with us right now. We got a minute before we begin. Or feel free to share this message at the end if you prefer. So last week was the new moon and it was about a new beginning. This week we are 1 week into this cycle. And before we begin, just go ahead and be present. Just call your soul into your body here now. Let go of anything else. Make your focus simply to be here now. We don't need to create a space. We only need to tune in to the infinite space of your heart. And when we each do this individually, we meet in the one heart collectively. So that's where I'm meeting you here now. That's where we are all meeting. All of us, all across the world, here now. Nothing else we need to do or know or think or be other than here now. All right. First question of the read, and we thank you, Archetypes, Faces of the One, in advance for this message that we're all about to put together. What is our current challenge? And this one, of course, will also be the gift, because the challenge is also always the gift. So as we're presented with this challenge and we ace it, it becomes the bridge to the future. What's something we're stepping away from now? And what is the challenge going to bring us to? Where is the bridge going to lead us to? Set the cards down. All right, you guys ready? First pull. What are we stepping away from? Ten of Wands. The Lord of Oppression. Oh, I feel this. And let me know in the comments if you do too. Ten of Wands. Wands is the suit of fire, spirit. And so you want to see which element is being pulled, and that will help guide you into the understanding of the card. So because it's Wands, fire, spirit, we want to first think of the spiritual plane in consideration of this particular archetypal wisdom, which is a burden, heaviness, but spiritually, because again, we're talking about the spiritual dimension first. So we're carrying this burden, right? He's carrying this burden, and it can be holding us back spiritually in some way. Ironically, it never is, because everything's always in divine order, right? So it's like something that appears to be holding us back, but really it's the very thing that we need to be carrying, the very burden that we need to be carrying and going through, so that we learn the particular lessons we need to learn, so that we're more finally ready to set it down. Then that heaviness will be equal to the lightness once it's set down, once it's transmuted. So the burden is there for a reason. It's heavy so that we can bear it, so that we can learn from it, and so that when we're finally ready to let it go, we experience that release, that surrender, that ascension. You set down the heaviness and you can fly. And when you're done considering the particular element pulled, here is fire, okay? We first considered this card on the spiritual plane. We then want to consider it in the other dimensions, because as in one, so in all. So first we see, okay, we've been carrying something heavy that has been spiritual for us, that has been teaching us spiritual lessons. So how has this been looking for us in the past months, in the most recent months, mentally? How has it been looking for us emotionally? Think Suit of Cups, right? How has it been affecting us physically? So first, though, you want to do the primary association, which is fire, spirit, okay? So we did that. When you do that, it helps you to unlock the door that needs to be unlocked in order to most sustainably receive the initiation of the card. You don't want to consider it in any of the other dimensions first, because that's not the proper way to go about it. There's an order in which you want to consider the wisdom, in which dimension first, and then you move on from there. Okay, so it's getting a little far out, but I know a lot of you guys have been wanting to learn more about the tarot, so I'm trying to share this wisdom with you so that you can begin to use your cards too for yourselves. Okay, so how has this been looking for us in the most recent weeks and months? This burden that we've been carrying, something really heavy that we've been going through. Has it been weighing on your mind? Has it been weighing on your body? Has it been stressing you out, tiring you out? Well, this is what we're stepping away from now. So we're finally going to be able to feel that lightness, feel like we're setting the burden down. Something that's been really heavy and affecting us for a long time, we're finally moving on from. And for some of us, that's more obvious. For some of us, it's a little less obvious. But for all of us, the answer is the same as far as what we should do with this energy at this time. And that is acknowledge it. And be grateful for it. So whether it's showing up in your life in a big way or a small way doesn't really matter right now. The point is, we want to recognize that this is an energy that's unfolding for all of us right now, and acknowledge it, big or small, however it's happening. Okay, so for example, say you just got out of a really abusive job situation, and you actually already are on to a new job. That's great. You're feeling the blessing of that. It's very obvious that you just set that burden down, but nonetheless should be acknowledged, appreciated, respected, given thanks for, right? You want to thank Creator, Great Spirit, whomever, whatever, Source, for bringing that into your life. And then for some of us, it's less obvious, right? It's like you're still maybe stuck in that job or that abusive situation, whatever it is. But what you can do is begin to feel that burden being set down, because it's inevitable that it will be. You know it's not sustainable where you're at. You know it's not sustainable, and so you know it's only a matter of time before you change that situation. So why not acknowledge that right here, right now, within your mind's eye and within your heart, to really see and feel that burden being set down and watch what happens, because the universe is so in support of that right now. You will feel that feeling of hopefulness will come to you more easily because of this energy that's going on right now. So also, even if you don't necessarily see it in your life and you still feel stuck in that situation, try to even recognize it in the lives of those around you. Recognize the blessing in the lives of those around you. Look for the positive people. Look for the people who are keeping a positive outlook and are recognizing their own ability to do this, to set the burden down in their life, to make a change, and be inspired by that. Because we are all one. Because you are them and they are you. And so you don't need to be jealous. On the contrary, look for those people who are positive and inspirational. And use that. Drink that in. Drink that inspiration in. And know that you too can set the burden down. And now more than ever is your opportunity to be supported by the universe to do that. Feel it. See it. We're moving on. We don't need to carry that weight anymore. At this point, if you're still stuck in a specific situation, it's really time for you to look at that and ask, why am I still carrying this? It's not mine to carry. I now, more than ever, have the opportunity to set this down. I am more than supported to do this right now. 10s, by the way, are endings and new beginnings. There's no greater time than now anyway, so take the sign now. Now's the time. X marks the spot. If you want something to end, do it now. If you want something to begin, something new, do it now. Now's the time to walk away from that thing that's been weighing too heavy, keeping you from growing. Set it down so you can fly. And that's exactly what we're doing. We're setting it down. Because this is the card of what we are now moving away from. And what are we in the middle of now? What challenge are we just now stepping into? And again, before I pull this, I just want to say it's a challenge that we're already in. So we should be able to recognize this. Okay. 8 of Pentacles. And this is a man working on his craft. And again, this is the challenge right now for the collective consciousness. This is a collective reading, but it also should apply to us on a microcosmic scale in our own lives. This is the card of craftsmanship, skill, putting your energy, directing your energy and efforts into a project, into your craft, but making sure that what you're doing is something that you're passionate about, so that comes effortlessly, so that your desire to pour yourself and your energy and your presence into this project becomes natural, graceful, organic. This is the goal right now. And again, it's the challenge. So for some of us, it might look more challenging than for others. Maybe some of us are acing this challenge. Maybe some of us are really struggling with this. Either way, wherever you're at on that scale, this is the underlying theme. This is why, by the way, I don't teach reversals. I don't do reversals because I like to look at the full spectrum, because we are beings of polarity. And so we're going to be experiencing these archetypal themes both in a positive light and in a negative light. And why judge, oh, if this, why judge, oh, the card was upright, so it's manifesting positively for me. Or the card was reversed, so it's actually manifesting negatively for me. That's a very limited way of thinking. We want to look at this full spectrum so that, first of all, we can recognize where maybe we are on one side of the spectrum in some areas of our lives, and on the other end of the spectrum in other areas of our lives. And also, what's more, is that we're not alone in this world. So you want to consider the full spectrum, because even if you are experiencing a current theme positively, your neighbor may not be. And we need to have compassion and understanding, because ultimately our neighbor is one with us. This world is not just for us alone, it's for each other, so that we can live together in understanding. So we want to know the whole spectrum of the theme that we're talking about, and that's why I'm going to show you guys what this looks like across the board. Again, some of us are experiencing more of the challenging aspect, and some of us are experiencing more of the gift aspect, feeling strong and empowered to face this challenge and coming through successfully and victoriously. Either way, right now, this is the current theme that we're being presented. We're being given this opportunity to really consider what is deserving of my focus, my attention, my awareness, my effort, mentally first. Because all is mind. Mind equals matter. Mentally, the root. Mentally, what is worth my energy? Emotionally, what is worth my power? Because my emotions, my feelings are my power. It's my electricity. So what's worthy of that right now? What's worthy of my physical effort? My time? We're really needing to get clear on that so that we can pour ourselves into it. And the thing is, when you know, when you already are aware that you need to align your purpose with your work, you have to honor that. Otherwise, if you don't honor that, you have conflicting beliefs. What you're doing is not matching what you're truly feeling in your heart. And I'm talking to you people, because this is not for everybody. This is for those of you who've particularly tuned into this video, and those of you who have been tuning in every week. You're aware. You're aware. You're awake. And the world is waking up. So there are a lot of us who are awake to exactly what I'm speaking of right now, which is this idea that we have to align our purpose with our work. And I believe, I'll be honest with you, I believe that the world is awake enough at this point that every individual at least has some level of awareness of this truth, at least deep inside. Even if it's only subconscious, we all have that seed within us that tells us our purpose is supposed to be aligned with our work here on this planet. That's why we're going, this can't be it. To be born and work and die. Be born and work and die. Born, work, die. That's not why we came here. And we know. We know this already. So let's encourage each other. Let's remind each other that if we're not living our purpose and we're not aligning our life's work with our beliefs, our values, because that's what these gold coins really represent, not money, but value. So when we align our projects and those things that we're giving our energy to, our mission, even what is seemingly most mundane every day, which really the mundane activities we do every day are the most powerful because they're our daily rituals, you know, but we need to be aware, we need to remind each other that those things that we do every day should be aligned with sacred purpose. They should not be separate. Because life is sacred. All of life is sacred. And so all the work that we do should be honoring that sacredness of life. So at this point, guys, this is such a big, powerful message for the collective consciousness. At this point, with where we are at as a collective consciousness and as individuals, it's time for us to recognize that we know deep inside we must align our work with our purpose. And anything less is creating conflict within our hearts. It's breaking us. It's breaking our hearts. It's breaking our one heart. And thank goodness that breaking is an illusion, because really the heart can never be broken. It's infinite, infinitely expanding space. That can't be broken. But it's this illusion that we've created to be able to learn and expand and grow. And so when we have this conflict in our hearts because what we are doing on the outside is not matching what we know to be true on the inside, it creates chaos. That conflict within reflects without in our individual lives and in our collective life here on this planet. So if we want peace without, we must have peace within. And we will never have peace within as long as the conflict remains of this outside work that we're doing, not fully aligning, fully aligning with what we know in our heart to be true. And what we can all agree upon, I believe, is universal truth. Foundational, elemental, energetic, universal truth. We can all agree upon that. So if we can just start there, simplify everything to universal law and create this, right? It's almost like a religion, but it's not, because it's science and religion. It's truth. So when we can all meet there, in universal law, universal truth. And then have our actions reflect that, have our daily rituals, however we used to judge them as mundane, have our daily rituals reflect these timelessly applicable truths, universal law, then maybe we would really start to get somewhere. Maybe then our hearts wouldn't be breaking. Maybe then our one heart wouldn't be broken. Maybe it would feel more unified and whole and full of purpose and light and life. So the challenge right now is aligning our work, whatever we're doing on the outside, work meaning whatever you are giving your energy to on this plane, aligning it with what you really feel on the inside, with what you know to be right and true, so that you want to work for it effortlessly, so that it becomes so natural that you want to give all of your effort and your time and your energy and your presence to it because it's so aligned with truth. And that's how you align your life with truth and your life with nature and your life with the elementals, which then reflects as magic. That's the ticket. That's how you do it. When you align your life's work with this universal truth that we all know in the deepest heart of hearts where we connect as one, we all know that to be true. That's living your truth from the roots to the fruits. And that's what we want to do. Because then our work becomes our devotional practice. And what we're working for is the one. And again, that doesn't mean you have to quit your job at the grocery store. That's the thing. It's not about what's happening on the inside. It's about how you connect to it on the inside. And about how your awareness relates to it. Because that's what matters. The way that we define and perceive what it is we are doing. And how that is in connection to our deepest values and beliefs. We need to tie our truth, our beliefs and our values to those rituals we do on the outside. Whatever it looks like on the outside does not matter. Stop thinking about what he, she, or they are going to think about it. That doesn't matter. Let's start with yourself. That's plenty to start with. It's hard enough to align our own beliefs with each other inside and to harmonize all those inner belief programs that we have. And then to bring other people into the equation really complicates things. So let's simplify and start within. Start within. How can you make your everyday rituals tied to your inner truth, your beliefs, your values? Then it gives your life purpose and meaning. Again, then you want to go to that grocery store and you want to get behind that cash register because yesterday you were hating it and you were judging it, but today you've managed to meditate and connect your everyday mundane activities to some deeper truth within yourself. You're able to see the way perhaps that you are in service when you're behind that register, the people's lives that you touch, the people you connect with. Or maybe you leave that job and you go to another one. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter about what's on the outside. It matters how you are tying it to your deeper beliefs, where there's real feeling and love attached, where there's real meaning and purpose attached. Attach that from within, like a cord, to what you are doing on this material plane. And watch how you enliven your life, how you vivify your life. It becomes impregnated with that same light that you carry in your heart, the light of truth, because you weave that into all that you do. So that's the current challenge right now. And because, guys, this is a collective reading, and when we tap into the support of the collective and the vision of how it's unfolding for the collective, it helps us to depersonalize the story and to access these supportive energies, archetypal energies, in bigger, more profound ways. So let's take it there. Currently, this challenge, we can already see how obvious it is in our own individual lives. Yeah, it's hard to align my purpose and my truth with my everyday mundane rituals. But I'm ready for that. Now let's connect that to the collective consciousness and how that's unfolding. We are ready to create a world in reflection of that when we individually perform this work of sanctifying our everyday activities. Then together, we do that in the world. We heal inner conflict, we repair outer conflict. And this is global, this is galactic. This is beyond our planet. So start inside, start with you, but see how this is really a challenge for the collective right now. To align what we're doing on a daily basis, our daily work, with our inner purpose. We need to heal the conflict within so that we heal the chaos without. And this is how we do it. We have to all be dedicated. We have to all be dedicated to aligning our everyday work with what we believe is most important, with our values and beliefs. Okay, and why are we doing this? Let's see if the next card is going to reflect a little bit about what we spoke about. What should we expect is to come of our acing this challenge of aligning our life's work with our highest truth? 7. So you have a 7 and an 8 and a 10 today. This is the final card, you guys. And this is a Cups card, so it deals with emotions and the heart. And this is all about illusion and meditation. Okay, 7 is also when you think 7, the Chariot of the trump cards, right? It's the Chariot, aka the Conqueror, victory. We go through this process of meditating upon the different things that are within our heart so that we can feel what is real and then be guided from there, be guided to the next step on our path from that space. So we want to be victorious, right? Thinking of that Chariot, number 7 in the trump card. We want to be victorious. We want to ascend. We want to transcend the current challenge of whatever illusions we're experiencing. Meaning, look at this image. Okay, this person is looking at these different cups. These are the different feelings of the heart that are guiding then the mind, because the heart is connected to the mind. They're guiding the mind into the different directions. Well, my heart feels this, so then it's telling my mind that. My heart feels this, so it's telling my mind that. My heart feels this, so it's telling my mind that. And so our mind wants to go all crazy in all these different directions because of the many feelings that we're holding in our heart. And so we want to victoriously transcend any illusion, any feelings that are coming from delusion, so that we don't end up investing our heart on the wrong path, which in hindsight, all that you perform on that wrong path becomes lessons and blessings. So it doesn't matter anyway. It's all good. But the point is, we're moving toward this. Okay, when we align our life's work, this is the challenge. When we ace this, when we align our life's work and our everyday efforts with our highest truth, working for what we truly believe in, oh my God, it's so much fun, it's so effortless that I want to give my all to this mission. When we live that way, then of course we end up here with the ability to see through illusion, see through delusions, see what our heart is really, what's really worth investing our heart into. Because we're so busy, right, working on our true purpose, investing energies into the right places, that we don't have time for those delusions anymore. We won't have time to invest our energy and our love into those situations that are not for the highest good, because it'll be effortless. We're powering through. Our energy is so focused in all the right ways that we literally are not going to align with those illusions anymore. That's why we're doing this. When we get our work right, when we get our work on ourselves right, and then we align our everyday projects and rituals with that devotion, right? So it's like a lot of you are in relationships right now, right? Or maybe you just got out of relationships, whatever. And a lot of people I find are having this dialogue right now of, I need to work on myself first. I need to get myself right. And this is like a big movement in the New Age community. We need to get ourselves right. We need to love ourselves so that we can then meet a more whole reflection of ourselves, et cetera, right? Well, this is exactly true. Right now, what we are doing is finding all the ways in which we can give our energy to the highest practices on this material plane, which also includes self-love and self-care practices, right? That's him working away at what he knows is right. And it's not necessarily about romance. It's not necessarily about fulfillment of desires. Maybe some things come up that are pleasurable and enjoyable on this path of, giving our energy to those proper channels, but that's not the focus. That's not the focus. We're not worried about romance. We're not worried about feeling good and our, individual pleasures. This card really highlights the need to focus on the collective mission which sometimes in some moments looks like taking care of yourself, like your body, self-care, or in some moments might mean helping someone else, or in some moments might mean working for a team or an organization. It doesn't specify. It only says do what's for the highest. Give your energy pour your energy into the channel where it needs it the most. So this card is concerned with the collective. It's not concerned with individual romance and selfish pleasures, okay? So what that's saying is, but don't worry, it's not like you're going to omit the romance. It's not like you're going to not have heartfelt experiences. That's why we're here. Of course you're going to. But let it go for now. Let go of the idea of needing to work for those things, because what you really need to work for is the highest good. For our shared one highest good. And when you do that, you don't have to ask for those pleasurable situations, because they'll come to you in ways like you never imagined. You will be presented the opportunity to fulfill your heart in ways beyond your wildest imagination. If you just let those selfish desires go now and work for the highest good and really get focused on your path, stay committed, stay devotional to your work, to your everyday projects, no matter how small, give it your best. Do your best. Creator will do the rest. You will be so protected, so guided, that you will literally bypass all of those things that maybe in the past you would have said yes to, like abusive relationships, really what it comes down to is abusive relationships right now. And that means, because everything's about relationship. Everything is one, everything's a relationship with the self. But I'm talking about romantic relationships, familial relationships, friendships, co-workers, boss, all relationships right now. So you don't need to worry about that. You don't need to worry about that. You just need to be the best you that you can be. And let that all go. Let all the relationship stuff go. This is a really strong, I'm seeing this very clearly right now. It's about relationships. We have our mind too much on the cups, the water, the emotions, the relationships. We need to let that go. We need to let that go. And we need to focus back on what's important, which is doing our job, being our best self, imbuing our lives with purpose, sanctifying our lives, being the best version of ourselves that we can be. And then from there, relationships will come naturally. We'll know how to navigate relationships because we are more and more our authentic, vulnerable, transparent self, which invites others to meet us in that same light. And then from there, we will soar past all of the old delusions that we may have given into had we not done this work. And we'll rise above all the delusions and all the illusions, because we have clarity of heart, because our heart is so busy in service. Okay, so remember, this is the thing to remember. I'm just going to sum it up here, you guys. We're moving away from this big burden. We're lightening our load. There's a lightness now, so tune into it. And don't go into all the details of what the load was, what was the burden that you were carrying, and then just get stuck in that spiral. No, that's what you've been doing, and that's why you haven't put it down fully yet. What we want to do is acknowledge the lightness. Acknowledge that we are already putting it down. We've put it down. We're lighter now. Whatever we had been carrying for a long time has been freed up. So we as a collective and as individuals have just received this gift of lightness, the ability to soar higher. So what are we going to do with that potential? We have all this energy now to grow, this space to grow. So we're going to make sure that everything we're doing on this material plane is helping us to grow in the other planes, that whatever we're doing, even in our everyday small, seemingly mundane rituals, is actually supporting our growth in all dimensions. Designing our life in such a way that we want so badly to show up for it fully present. Designing our lives in such a way where we are so excited to wake up every morning and before we even move, give thanks for the day that we're stepping into. So that everything we do, no matter if we hated doing it yesterday, we make sure that today we are loving everything we are doing. Every little thing. And if you're struggling, because remember, this is the challenge right now, so some of us are more in the challenging aspect of it. If you find yourself going, but how do I change this? I feel stuck. No, you're not. No, you're not. Stop it. We're moving away from that right now. You are not stuck. So if you find yourself feeling stuck, or like you're unable to appreciate your reality in one moment or another, or there's maybe something about your home, the feng shui is off, there's a chair that you've hated for weeks, throw it out. Your office is feeling stuffy, clean it out, air it out, sage that, do whatever you got to do. But remember, any moment you find yourself frustrated or uncomfortable in your reality, especially when it's something that happens every day, which can be simply healed just by throwing out that chair, for example, right? Like, think about that, you guys. Every day, if you sit in this one chair every day and you're not fully comfortable in that chair, why are you sitting in it? That's a metaphor for life. It's a metaphor for what we are really highlighting right now, for what's being highlighted in our experience. Look at every little thing you touch and do, and the energy flows that you create in the feng shui of your day as you move back and forth from this room to that room, right? The rooms that you move from and to every day in your house, there's an energetic current. Is it conducive to your highest expression? Or does it feel cramped or frustrating or uncomfortable? Is there something that's been in the way of the door for weeks that you need to move? You know what I'm saying? Like, really, guys, look at your material reality and look at the energy behind it. How is it affecting your flow mentally, emotionally, physically? And how can you redesign it, tweak it in little ways even? Or maybe there are big ways. You know, only you know. How can you tweak it? How can you refine your physical reality to become a ritual for you to insert the most gratitude, so that your reality invokes that highest version of yourself? Design your world, your physical material plane in such a way that it pulls the best out of you. Can you see that? Can you feel that? Before you even go about doing it physically, see it in your mind's eye, feel it, and ask yourself, how can I tune into the energy that I sit with every day and make little adjustments so that my energy can effortlessly flow more expansively? How can I design my reality to set me up for success and for proficiency? Because a lot of us are just allowing certain things to continue, like shitty, bad habits that are keeping us stuck, limiting our growth, when really it's just like totally unconscious. Like, there's a box in front of the door, for example, that you just have been too lazy to move, and all you need to do is move that box, and a tremendous amount of energy is freed up. Oh my goodness, right? Right? Or like friends that we're holding on to, that we're giving energy to without realizing they're taking the energy, and they don't mean to, but you could be using that energy for other things. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's everything. It's not just the physical stuff in your life. It's also like the relationships or the ideas in your head that are taking from you, that are pulling your energy. How can you take it back and then redirect it into the proper channels that are going to support your prosperity and the prosperity of those around you? So know that we have a tremendous amount of energy to use for healing right now. We've just freed that up collectively. It's time for us to look at our reality and see what has been keeping us blocked, frustrated, stuck, and manipulate our material reality in such a way that it supports our gratitude, our expression of gratitude, because that's really our highest expression. Okay, so we're designing a reality right now that's going to pull the gratitude out of us effortlessly, so that we don't need to try to remember to be grateful. How silly does that sound? I need to try to remember to be grateful. Like, that's the world we live in today? No, this is not okay. So rather than trying to like say, okay, let me make a little gratitude list every day, which is great. I mean, do that as much as you want. If it's bringing on the gratitude, great. But like, how can we do that in a bigger way? How can we reprogram deeply within our minds anything that has been a block from allowing that gratitude? Because really, we don't need to create gratitude. Gratitude is the light of compassion, and we're one with that. We are made of that. So really, we need to release any blockages that are keeping us from shining that light and from seeing that light within ourselves, right? So rather than only making gratitude lists, how can we reprogram our minds to naturally flow in that direction of gratitude? And what's more is, how can we look at our material reality, things that we also specifically spend the most time with, like our bed, your bedroom, maybe the table that you eat at, those places in your homes and in your lives where you spend the most time. How can we redesign those areas to support that flow of gratitude so that we magnetize it to flow forth from the heart? So we don't need to take effort to think about being grateful, so that our lives become an expression, a flowing, fluid, active, radiant expression of gratitude. Individually and collectively, you guys. And right now I have a message for those progressive intellectual minds out there who are all about architecture and design for the new earth. I'm speaking to you. I know your ears just perked up. How can you help contribute to this blueprint for the new earth? By seeing us collectively designing cities or even whatever, any areas of living that are designed, that are structured to call forth this gratitude, that are designed to pull that out of us. How can we together see a world that even the technology is in alignment with this idea, that even the technology is constructed in such a way that it literally forces us to be grateful, that it just it works with that light in such a way where it makes it an effortless practice for us to be grateful. How can we do that? How can we do that? It certainly means moving closer to nature, because when technology or when structures are aligned with the laws of nature, then our bodies feel good, right? Like, for example, if we have a technology that takes away our oxygen, our bodies close up, and that contraction reflects a lack of gratitude. Our body says, no, thank you. But when we use natural technologies and ones that support nature, which we are one with, right? We're one with nature, then our body opens up and expands. And that's an expression of gratitude, for example, right? So how can we together visualize this new earth, this world, these new technologies, buildings, architecture, in such a way where we see it reflecting the divine design of nature, being sustainable with our nature, so that our bodies, naturally, without even our minds, our bodies open up in gratitude and in thanks? How can we see that? Okay, and again, as we collectively work on that, designing a reality that supports this opening, that supports this gratitude, that supports us wanting to show up for life and be present and give our all, as we do that, we rise above any illusions of the heart. And you guys, that's a huge deal. That's really why we're even here. That's why we're doing this. We've been waiting for this, because our hearts have been tied up. Our hearts have been feeding selfish desires for a long time. For a long time, our society has fallen into this sin, hotbed of vice. And we have been for a long time giving our heart and soul to the wrong things, you guys. To the wrong things. And so if we want to give our hearts fully to the one right thing, 111 people are watching this right now, to the one thing that deserves it the most, right? It's like this. You don't water the petals of a flower. You water the roots, right? You don't water the branches of a tree. You water the roots, and then it gets evenly distributed. So if we can all feed the one heart for the right reasons, then that one heart, which is represented by a cup, the grail, overflows into all of our cups, right? So this is a big deal. The whole reason our world is in the condition that it's in, this chaos, is because we haven't been feeding that one heart. We've been confused in our hearts and not sure where to go, which way to go, or what to give, or what is deserving of our love and affection and nurturing energy. We've been nurturing the wrong things. So this is huge. This is showing us that we're moving toward, we have this opportunity right now to move toward transcending that old delusion collectively and individually, and returning to the truth of the heart, so that that one of which we are all a part can overflow. So that's why we're doing this, you guys. If we all focus and acknowledge our collective mission to create a world that requires us to show up fully, and that we also want to show up fully for, then we align our desire with higher purpose and with the collective consciousness. And so then there's no more conflict within, because our desire is aligned with our work, and our higher desire is aligned with our work. our highest, truest desires, why we came here, finally finds its avenue of focus and is ready to give what it fully has because it's been waiting to do it all along. It's like we finally find this channel that's deserving of our highest energy at the same time as we're connecting with that higher energy, that highest energy. So it's like all of a sudden we're like, okay, we're tapped into source, we're tapped into our highest energy, and that channel opens up, boom, ready to go, ready to give it all. And when we do that, you guys, we finally transcend that delusion. And we begin to move in the correct direction to fill up the one cup, the Holy Grail, the one heart. Thank you guys for tuning in today and for opening up this portal with me. I'm really feeling it right now. I'm really feeling it right now, you guys. Thank you for being on this mission with me. Thank you for acknowledging with me the lightness that we have upon us right now, the space that we're now stepping into to be able to grow, grow, grow. Thank you for acknowledging that with me and for reminding your brothers and sisters around the world who are down and who are not seeing that right now, for reminding them that we have this opportunity to expand right now. Thank you for aligning your work with your highest purpose and for doing that together with me so that we can unite in one mission, so that we can transcend this old delusion that we've been living in, this old programming once and for all, so that we can see beyond selfish desires and fill up the one cup so that the one heart that we all share is fulfilled. Thank you guys so much. I want to remind you that if you love this style of tarot and you want to be able to extract messages like this for yourself when you feel you need it the most, in any moment or on a day-to-day basis, I have classes. They're all recorded. They're all super easily accessible no matter where you're at in the world. They're just recorded files, and all you need is an email for me to send them to. I also have a book. Ask me about my book. Thank you again for those of you who have been writing reviews. I so appreciate you. I am available for one-on-one readings by appointment only, so please reach out to me, private message me if you're interested. And again, share this message with anyone you think can activate it further, and for those you think may benefit from it, whomever it might be. Thank you for sharing in this light with me. Also, Shabbat Shalom, you guys. I have a private group on Facebook called Shabbat Crew, S-H-A-B-B-A-T Crew. And every Friday I share about the current Torah story and the mystical meaning behind it and how it's connecting to what we're going through right now as a collective consciousness. This is for anybody who wants to participate and join. It's a lot of fun. Shabbat is for everyone. It's for anyone who wants to join. Okay, so it's called Shabbat Crew. My other private group is called The Royal Path, which is also the name of my book. So if you join us there in the group, The Royal Path, we share about archetypal awareness and archetypal activation. And it's a lovely bunch of people from around the world, many of whom you see here tuned in live right now. So connect with us. Stay connected there in the Royal Path private group. And I'll see you guys next week for the full moon. Shalom. Thank you.